Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of international rugby. This one, Samoa versus Spain. And I have to say the weather is not as nice as it was behind me here in this photo. It is raining, it is pouring, and hopefully it is still going to be a relatively high-scoring game of rugby. Last week, Samoa pulling off that massive upset, beating the Italians. A lot of people felt like the Samoans didn't have much of a chance, but they dug deep. They showed exactly why they can be a top contender. The Spanish, of course, they were not a part of that last Rugby World Cup. That was due to some problems, you could say, behind the scenes. But they are here now and they are ready to go. They've had a decent run in Europe, although I believe they have lost to Georgia and they have lost to Portugal. Just to give you some sort of comparison in terms of where they will be sitting. Some people think they will be an easier side to beat than the Italians, but you just never know in the world of rugby. But I hope you guys are all doing well and I hope you are excited for this matchup. We have got 33-10 as the score prediction from Daniel in the chat as well. But we will look through, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, at the starting lineup for the Samoans. In this matchup, it is going to be Ake Seuli, it'll be Sama Malolo, and also Marco Fipaleai as the number 3, Benini and Samuel Slade in the locking duo with Theo McFarland, Murphy Taramai, and Olajuwon Noah there as the number 8. Malani Matavao and D'Angelo Leula will be the 9-10 combination for the Samoans. So the change there compared to what they did have last week. Jonathan Tamatine actually in the starting lineup for the Samoans, but now it will be Malani Matavao here. Danny Tuala and Stacey Ely in the midfield. Ely coming off the bench last week. Nigel Wong out on one wing. Nue Fitu out on the other, and then Duncan Paiua as the number 15. Looking through at this Spanish starting lineup is Vasquez, Oviedo, and also Santa Maria as the front row. Now, it's going to be so important that those three men get the scrum right throughout this contest because Samoa, they have got the advantage, you would say, in terms of scrums and lineouts. But if Spain can push them, that is when we may see some simple errors coming from the Samoan side. So it's certainly going to be important that they do muscle up at the front there. Captain Pichardi is there at number 6, and also off the back of the scrum, Emaz. Keep a special eye out for him, but it is absolutely pouring at Apia Park at the moment. Unfortunately, it does look like it is going to be an extremely wet day for this contest, but it should be a great, fast, flowing game of rugby. I'm hoping Samoa turn up like they did last week. That is the main thing I would believe for the Samoans here. We have got the English or Spanish, says Daniel. If you're talking about the language we will be commentating in, we are commentating in English for this one. You have a big day / night ahead. We certainly do. We've got 4 games back to back to back that we will be covering on the channel. And Samoa, England, Australia, South Africa. Those are your winners, says Sandor, and there as well. And we have got there Spain has a fair number of Argentines, it seems, says Jonathan. I mean, Spain do have like that same, well, they both speak Spanish, don't they? Although in Argentina, I think they also speak a little bit of Portuguese, but similar looking names, you could say. And we have got there, it's coming home to Samoa, says Dwayne, and Samoa has a fair number. Oh no, I read that one, didn't I? And no, I mean. English or Spanish? What do you mean? No, I mean, yep. Says Daniel. Good. And hi, Ola Navish, says Robert. It looks like Samoa is, even in the time we've had the national anthems, it has got a lot darker at the ground, unfortunately. It does look like it is going to be a very wet game, which means that, like I mentioned, you have to get your scrums right, you have to get your lineouts right, and just get their handling right, because Samoa, they have got that attacking prowess in their backline. Danny Tuala, Stacey Ely in the midfield to help set up the men on the outside, and Leula, he is not afraid to run that ball hard at the line. Many German dads, granddads in Argentina, says Sandor. Theo McFarland, he is a leading from the front here. And hey man, what's your name? I heard it was Hamish, says Dave. It is indeed. Will you show the game, says Scudder? Sadly, we are unable to. If we show any match footage or audio, YouTube do take it down with a copyright strike, and then we are unable to stream for 3 months, plus could get sued for copyright infringement. So sadly not, but we will be doing the play-by-play commentary for this contest. Just waiting for it to get underway, both sides. We'll have to get used to the wet conditions. I believe last week when Italy were playing up against the Samoans, we didn't see any rain, or maybe we saw just a little bit at one point throughout that contest. I think it went from being sunny to raining the very next second. It's pretty dark at the moment out there on the ground, but it looks like Spain will be the side who is kicking off this contest. I can't wait until New Zealand versus England Test Series. Should be a good one. They've got their last match of that series in 4 hours' time, which is a shame. Like, 3-match series just makes sense to me, but there are a lot of 2-match series that are happening. Same with South Africa, Ireland. If Ireland somehow cause a massive upset and win that second one, then everyone's going to want the third match. Was I late? Amish says, Lave, I mean, you were here before kickoff, so I guess that counts as being early, I would say. Ben O'Keefe, he will be the referee in charge of this contest. And we have there, maybe look up the Spanish Rugby Union YouTube page. You might get a chance of getting the game there, says Simon Hughes. And bring back 6-week tours, says Sandor. Or just for a start, 3 matches. Like, they don't have to make it too much longer. It's just the extra week type thing. But it just makes a big difference. But I guess it's because they don't want sides to be going down 2-0 and then still playing a third. That is a brilliant line break already for these Samoans. Theo McFarlane flicks the ball up. And they are already up to the halfway line here for the Samoans. Running it for Fipulei. They're currently 45 metres out from their own line. D'Angelo Leula put in the little kick in behind. And it was taken back, so it won't be a 50-22, but a great kick downfield from Samoa for the territory. And it is pouring even harder than it was during the national anthems now. It is not going to be easy at all to get underneath and up and under for this contest, which is why Samoa have decided they're just going to try and run it through the hands. They did it pretty well, and then Leula does boot it into touch, but now it's going to be Oviedo. He's got himself the line-out throw. That is some torrential rainfall right now in Samoa, and that one slapped onto the side of the Samoans. I believe there was a knock-on. It looks like it's going to be play-on, though, at this point. Now going off to the right-hand side, D'Angelo Leula kicked in behind from Samoa with Stacey Ely. Bumped it forward just a little bit too much off the foot of Owen Nue. I believe he's had a little bit of time in the sevens as well in the past. Good luck, Spain, says Refalcia. And there as well. Now, it's going to be a 22 dropout for the Spanish. That is some good rain that they are having at the moment. A very good morning, listening all the way from South Africa, says Cat Legos. Welcome in. What side are you watching the game on, bro? Says Liam. I'm watching it on TV NZ Plus is where I'm watching it. It's free to air if you are in New Zealand. The 685 with the Samoan flags from Jalene there. Now on the halfway line, Malani Mataval going back across to the left here. Danny Tawala, skip pass. This is some very nice handling from the Samoans. Nigel Awong close to the touchline, manages to offload it back in before he is forced out. And he said it is play on from 40 out from the Spain line as the puddles start to form on the field already. Malani Mataval is back across again to, I believe it was Alojuan Noah. He had a great game last week up against the Italians. Ben Nini now 40 metres out. Malani Mataval showing off that 7-step and almost goes straight through, but he's going to be wrestled down by Latero. Now quick hands. That is beautiful work from Samoan, and Owen Nue will score the first try of the contest. He's on debut. Simon Malolo, I think, almost tripped over trying to go over to celebrate. I can guarantee the Spanish Rugby YouTube page is just showing the game in Spanish language. Says Simon Hughes, and what up, Hamish? Another great weekend. You think the Irish can pull it off? Says Mr. All-In. It's going to be harder for them. Mate, can you just show the game? Sadly not. Due to licensing, any match footage or audio gets you taken off YouTube and possibly sued. You get banned for 3 months. And it's copyright infringement. It's unfortunately illegal. So I can't do it, sadly. But we can tell you what is happening in the game, including that first try of Owen Nue, which was a fantastic run down the wing. Some quick gains from Samoa out to the right. And then Nue went in on debut. Can't join you in the New Zealand versus England stream because I'm watching it on Sky Sports. I'll be able to join you in the Irish versus Box and Walsh game Who's in possession and closest to a try? Well, Samoa just scored. And what up, Hamish? And also, didn't they get cheated out of the World Cup due to a player not being allowed to play in their qualifier? Yeah, it was a South African prop that they had in their team, but it's an unfortunate one for Spain because I believe the reasoning was because it was during that time of you weren't allowed to travel due to, the pandemic. He wasn't able to go back to Spain early enough, but then after that, he was able to travel. So if he was able to travel when he initially was going to, he would have been qualified and there would have been no problems. But because he had to wait because of lockdowns and whatnot, it meant that he then became ineligible, which I feel like is pretty rough, really. Like, on the technicality, surely, the rule set does not allow for a pandemic. Do you think Isaiah Walker-Leawiti could be in the Māori AB's game? Are they playing again? I don't know whether or not they've played all their games. I think they've played the 2, and that's about it for them. And we have got their new member, Mr. Orland. Thank you very much, mate. Could you get a couple of action figures and act out the game in real life? No, that would take a lot of effort. Definitely if they're passing the ball. Like, what happens when one person passes to another and then they're tackled? I'd need 3. I need a few more sets of hands to make it effective. Katzenauer said, g'day, welcome in. Spain, actual rugby union team. They are. They're ranked 19th in the world. So there is already an injury for a Samoan player. Was kicked off and then did end up being dropped by the Samoans, but the kick was successful. I don't know, it's your stream, says Sanders, so we'll probably just do what we're doing then. I guess if it's our stream, and Arvo to you, Kiwi lads, up to home from work, says Spider-Mech. Yeah, this actually looks like it's Duncan Paiaua, who is struggling at the moment with some sort of injury trouble. The last thing that you want to see early on, we're going to see him here. He's just juggling the ball. Oh, and it's actually the knee of the Samoan centre, Martin Alonso, who's come in and connected with him on the ground. I'm in Australia, says David Speedy there. And it's weird that Australia don't have options to watch this game. Like, I thought it would have been on Stan, but I don't believe it is. From what I've heard, Canada bet Romania, says Katzenauer. They certainly did, and Scotland bet the USA. What's the other game that was seen a little bit earlier on? What are your predictions, Kiwi lad, says Sandor? I think that Samoa will be able to win this game. Spain, I'd like to think, will score 1 or 2 tries just to build up their confidence a little bit. They've got a game next week up against the Tongans. And, of course, Tonga losing to Italy actually a little bit earlier on in the week as well. Looks like we're going to have a scrum reset. If the box has them, says Rafosia. Okay, Ben O'Keefe's just saying if the scrums make an effort to adjust, then he'll be a little bit more lenient in these conditions. I'm in Australia watching on a stream in Spanish. We're listening to your commentary, says David Speedy there. And looking forward to tonight at Eden. Hamish says, Spider-Man, it's going to be a good game. And hopefully it is as competitive as the first test match was. Samoa on the board early, mate, says Lav. They certainly were. That is going to be a free kick now for Spain, though. While still inside of the Samoan 22. A Maz with his first carry. 10 metres now from the try line here. Spain, their best opportunity to score points. Santa Maria going around the side of the breakdown. All we can hear through the microphones at the game is just the pitter-patter of the rain falling on top of them. Now, 10 metres out from the line. They're going to the right-hand side again. Thought I saw someone at the back door. Now, 7 metres out. Pick and go again here for Spain. And it looks like they're slowly getting closer. No, they have knocked it down. It's pissing down. It is. It's really pouring out. How can I watch the game in South Africa, says Daniel. Sadly, I don't think they've got too many options. Like someone said, it might be on the Spanish Rugby YouTube channel. It's probably in Spanish is the only thing. And Australia thinks Spain and Samoa are South Korea, says Fluffy. And come on, Manu, says Spider-Mech. And go the Manu, says Lave. And there as well. And it looks like Spain are actually going to opt for the 3 points here rather than going for the 7. Is there TMO and up here? I don't believe so. In these type of conditions, I feel like there is bound to be at least one technical difficulty if you did have a TMO. If you Rugby TV channel in Spanish, says David. Now lining up this kick and does get it over. So that is going to make the score now 7 points to 3. Still in favour of the Samoans, but Spain on the board for the first time in this matchup. Those kind of 3-pointers can be extremely handy. The ball's been placed on the halfway line, and the field has already got way worse than it was at the start in terms of the amount of puddles that we got on the halfway line. There is just a pool in the middle. Why can't we watch on Sky Sport? Because sadly it is not on Sky Sport, which I am very confused at why it's not. To be honest, that's a good kick from D'Angelo Leola. But yeah, it's on TVNZ here in New Zealand as an option. That would be your best bet. Says Rafosia and there as well. Now, about 15 metres out from their line here, Spain will have themselves the line out. Well, we will go like that and like that. Yeah, they are live at the moment on the Spanish YouTube channel. I do see. Now that one's going to be slapped away to the right-hand side, so it does mean that Spain are able to retain their own line out. Holy cow, they are going to get flooded. Where it just took place, Hamish. So it is taking place in Samoa, Apia Park. Same location as Samoa versus Italy last week. And Samoa had a phenomenal game last week up against the Italians. They certainly did. What's the Spanish YouTube channel name? Says Palolo. It is called FE Rugby TV. And it's got the Spanish Rugby logo. Oh, another obstruction. I think we're going to see a few of those throughout the weekend overall. I think we're going to see a lot of penalties throughout the weekend of international rugby. That's how I watch my football. Says Rafosia. That one has got into touch now. About 30 or so metres out from the line. Spain will be in position. That is a glorious moustache on the Spaniard. Says Sandor. Now, Oviedo. Going to go for this line-out throw, which is pretty much played on top of a puddle at this stage. Once again, it is just extremely wet for this match. Is it FE Rugby TV? Because I'm going to check it out. It is without the spaces, though, is the only thing that you'd have wrong there. Now, Sama Malolo, nice attacking run forward. Going back into the pocket. Mataval goes to D'Angelo Leola. Go kick him behind. He's looking for the 50-22, but the field is just too wet, so the ball stops pretty much instantly. The YouTubers live streaming this. FE Rugby TV, thank you, Kiwi lads. Says Ava Kausumu. Hopefully I've said that correctly. That's a great shot coming in from Malani Mataval. And the counter-ruck from Samoa, but they've given away the penalty. I mute that live and listen to live commentary here while watching the other. But Malani Mataval showing off his skills, puts the up and under up, and then just chases as hard as he can and puts in the big shot. I'm not actually sure who's been penalised for that one. I'm convinced France have the best rotation. Their squad is very deep. Says Katzenau, and it's gone again, says Sandor. And here comes the sun. Yeah, I don't think the sun's going to be out very long for this contest. I think that we are going to see an extremely wet contest for the second half as well. Now Spain have got themselves another line out. 25 metres out from the line. Oh, although it does sound like the rain is slowly stopping. That was not very straight for the Spanish, unfortunately, and that now means that Samoa are going to have themselves a scrum directly on the mud. Oh no, the rain started again. It was just a little patch where there wasn't any rain. I love Spanish TV because I don't understand what they on about. Says Doctor. And 163 watching, 51 likes. Hit that like button, you all. Says Moss. And also be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are going to be back with plenty more international rugby today. We are covering New Zealand versus England. We are covering Australia versus Wales. South Africa versus Ireland. All taking place on the channel. I'm going to need plenty of water throughout the day, that is for sure. But that is going to be the scrum penalty for the Samoans when a State of Origin third test. I believe it's next Wednesday is when that one has taken place. That's roughhouse scrums to stay on their feet, says Sandor. Okay, found the game. But yeah, next Wednesday, 1-1 in that series. It's going to be interesting to see which way the third test does end up going for State of Origin. See, and that's a good format. 3 matches, have 2 games to start with, and then if you equalise, then you have that next one. I'm going to the Wallabies versus Wales wearing a box jersey, says David, so you should stand out, I would think. Although there'll be a few other people probably doing the exact same thing. Won't be that as a nice steal at the line out for Spain. They are inside of their 22. Look at a kick it downfield. Was their number 10, and it's nicely cleaned up at the back for Spain again, but they're only 5 metres out from their try line now. Only 13 and a half minutes gone. Halfback Bay will kick it high and long and doesn't find the touchline there, which does now give Nigel Awong the opportunity to run it forward. I believe Samoa actually joined the breakdown, which left the gap on the outside when he tried to go for the offload. I think they're only having 2 game series to commentate, having 1 game with a Tier 2 nation. Says Simon Hughes. They are in some cases, but the likes of the Irish, for instance, they don't have a game up against a lower ranked side. So they head to South Africa, they play 2 games. They didn't have a warm-up game, and they also don't have a game after that. So certain sides do get Tier 2 matches, such as South Africa playing the Portuguese. But I would have thought that if they were going to do that, they'd make sure all of the top sides had a game up against the Tier 2 side, rather than just picking and choosing who gets one of those, if that makes sense. You'll be the only winner at the game, David, says Sandor. And also box jersey waving Samoan flag, says Wiki in there. Penalty to Samoa on the halfway line with D'Angelo Leula. He's been doing some very nice kicking today. That one will be no different. Gets the Samoans down into the 22 of the Spanish. I'm going to stay awake to watch England thrash the All Blacks, says Robert Wood. Of course, that game only 4 hours away, so you won't have to stay awake for too much longer. Thoughts on Eddie Jones drama? There's more Eddie Jones drama? I haven't heard any recent Eddie Jones drama at this point. That is some great work from the Spanish initially in that breakdown before they did end up leaving their feet. But now the Samoans off the back, Murphy, Taramai with the inside ball to Owen Nue. They played against England and Wales in the Six Nations. They're both a Tier 2 at the moment, says Refalsia. And also Fiji versus New Zealand, San Diego, big game. It certainly is. That's chipped it behind, too much on it for Danny Tawala. And they will go right back to where he kicked it from, or it will once again be a 22 dropout for the Spanish. I think the European teams will play a Tier 2 side in November, says Simon Hughes. Although we did see, like, England had their warm-up game where they did play up against the Japanese. We saw, who else had warm-up games overall? I think there was one other side. South Africa got a warm-up game up against the Welsh. It just seems weird that only some teams got warm-up games. That's the only slight downside, I would say. I would say if you're going to have a 2-match series, you have to make sure both sides get a warm-up beforehand so that they can go into the game as equal as possible. That ball is dropped at the back by John Bell. Spain going to get rid of it. Vinuesa does get it into touch. That is a great kick right there, but Samoa decide to take it quickly, keeping the ball alive. Now Duncan Paiaua on the short side. I believe he was in front of Nigel Awong. He's got the grounding. But because, of course, we don't have TMO, it means that there will be the try for Duncan Paiaua off the kick in behind as well. And morning all says, Peter Wild, welcome in. And dreams are but children of idle minds, says Robert. And also, hey, that's the ref from South Africa versus France. Guess he annoyed somebody, says Sandor. Well, he's a neutral referee, so it does make sense as well. New coach's progress, says the Wallaby. And also, what a try, says Sandor. Is the game being streamed anywhere? It is being streamed on the Spanish YouTube channel, FE Rugby TV. It is actually their official YouTube channel for the Spanish. They are streaming their game on there. I think they stream most of their matches on there as well, by the looks of it. But now they will be lining up the kick from the touchline. Yes, Samoa. Another day, another try, says Lave. I back Ben O'Keefe must be socked. Is that what you're saying, Leif? You speak Spanish, Hammy? Nah, not really. I speak a little tiny bit of Portuguese, but that's only a very, very tiny amount. Any thoughts about the Wallabies and All Blacks coaches, says the Wallaby? I think that they both have a side in front of them that they can build. It's going to be tricky, but at the end of the day, it's always going to take time. And Joe Schmidt, there's at least something that's gone his way in terms of that first match up against the Welsh. TVNZ Plus, catch an episode of New Zealand quality drama Shortland Street. Come on, Samoa. It's streaming, but if you have epilepsy, don't bother. It's glitchy, says Adam. So is that on the Spanish one? Yeah, I see what you're saying. It's very kind of frame by frame, isn't it? We have good there. Hola, amigo, says Dane. Welcome in. I thought the Spanish team was good. What is this? I mean, they're all right. I wouldn't say that they are fantastic. I mean, they're 19th in the world at the moment. They did suffer defeats to Georgia and Portugal quite recently. They weren't in the World Cup because of eligibility issues. And this is their first game together in a few months. So there's always going to be some factors that change it a little bit. That's a great quick tap taken by the Spanish here, and they are flying down the wing once again. Kicked to behind from Vinuesa, waiting for the bounce of the ball. That is good. And Spain score the try in the corner. That is a fantastic finish. I think one of the players may have got dirt flicked up in his eye. The physicality of the island team seems to hurt some of these smaller teams. CSCP 23. Right, Vinuesa, I believe he was able to score it. He was actually there with Bay. He was looking for that deflection of the ball. He kicks it forward, and then it's picked up by Vinuesa, who initially did the great kicker behind, and Spain get themselves back on into this match. It is wet in that corner as well. Their mustache is man of the match. What a try, CCP. Olahemi. And good try. And now this is getting exciting. And what a bloody try, says David. Oh. So he's going to chuck away the corner flag by the looks of it here for Vinuesa. He's pretty much in foot-deep water on that side of the field. Snowball score incoming. And what is the weather like in New Zealand? It's quite nice here. Eden Park, it's looking like it's going to be quite nice as well. That is a fantastic kick from the touchline. It has gone over from Spain, and they are now 14 points to 10 in this contest. Both teams give 100 in terrible conditions, and they are getting Samoa try and Spain to be in the next Rugby World Cup, says Tame. Well, they were initially supposed to be in this one. They were initially in there, and then the reason that they then missed out, it's actually, it's due to their eligibility of one player as well, and that was even the technicality, and because of that, it meant that Romania actually made their way into the World Cup. And I mean, for Romania, it was opportunity of a lifetime. They got to face the Springboks, Ireland, Scotland, and Tonga all in that group stage. Matches that we may have never seen had it not been for Spain's blunder. Hopefully, says Robert Wood. 21 minutes through. Just having a quick drinks break before they jump back into it. But 14 points to 10 at the moment. Only 4 points splitting these two sides. Rain is still absolutely pouring. Spain are trash. Do you agree? I do not agree, no. They are a side, like I mentioned, they haven't had a game in a long time. They are one of those sides that have got a lot of potential, a little bit similar to their seven side of things, how, you give them time and you give them games and they will improve. The snowy mountains or snow on the mountains yet? No, not quite, although it's 8 degrees Celsius at the moment. I said that it was quite nice, but that is quite nice from recently. Somewhere had -9 the other morning, which is a bit cold. I think they would have had snow. And yep, the game glitched. So yeah, says Daniel, and Samoa came to play. And also meant to be sold out at Eden Park. And I think it will be. At the end of the day, those two sides playing each other in the first test match would have been a good indication that the second one should be quite close. Now that's going to be a nice inside ball from Danny Tuala. Gets it away to Duncan Paiao. Looks like he has recovered from his earlier injury. Good hands from D'Angelo Leula. manages to bust through one tackle attempt. Venuesa. It seems like Samoa's handling is actually better in the rain than it is in the dry at the moment. If you're telling the truth. And don't cross your fingers, toes, or nuts. Says Lave. Well, about Samoa, or about Spain being good or bad. Like, that's the thing, though. I've never understood the logic behind. That's a nice little kick. And behind, and that's going to be a 5-metre scrum now for the Samoans. Yeah, I've never understood the logic behind trying to discourage teams, if that makes sense, like in terms of calling them bad and whatnot, because without certain sides, like you got to remember, all sides will bring something a little bit different, and they can get better. That's the best thing about it. That's the exciting thing about it, is if one side is bad, like remember when Georgia were a side that were getting beaten, now people want them to join the Six Nations, even though they do still get beaten quite often. Like, it's intriguing to see, like, whether or not people support the smaller teams or whether they pretty much go, oh, but my team's better, so I hate all small teams. Our teams have to start somewhere. Exactly right. And John Kerwin says Eden Park is like the All Blacks Marai. What does he mean? Is that his direct quote, or did he say something along those lines? Like, I guess it's like their homecoming, I guess, in a way, you could say, if you're using his logic. But, I mean, people just call it a fortress. Calling it the fortress is a lot easier. Who looks more likely to score next, mate, says Liam Owen. I'd say Samoa have had some decent moments. They have decided to go for the 3 points here, and D'Angelo Leula has actually missed it. But, yeah, I'd say Samoa, territory-wise, have looked like the more dangerous team. G'day, Hamish from Brisbane. Looking forward to tonight's game and hope you are doing well, mate. Says James, an 100% Georgia supporter. Says Peter Wild. Do France or Pumas have a game this weekend? They do. They are playing each other again in their second test match. So 5 or 6 of the Spanish players are Argentines. Says Ricardo. Our Avalon rugby team sucks bums. Says Doctor. What are our predictions here? Who wins by how many points? My original prediction was Samoa by 10. And, you know, I think both of these sides have the potential to bring up 20 plus points throughout this one. Going back across. Posted a video about the All Blacks review like 5 hours ago. Says Lave, go check it out. Like, is in a review of their first match, Lave, or is it a preview of the next match that's taken place? Oh, good run from Theo McFarland. He's just dropped the ball. Samoa by 15. The camera work coverage is miles better than in Argentina, says Sandor. Spain should join the Six Nations alongside another team. Georgia is kind of a decent distance away, says Rafael Sia. And Spain are a big sporting nation. They will only get better in 15s and 7s. Yeah, I saw something along the lines of they've got, is it 48 million as their population, yet only about 27,000 play rugby, or 37,000 I think it might have been. So, like, you're in that scenario of that's not a great odd. They mentioned about Samoa. 10% of Samoa in the population play rugby. So, even though Samoa is miles smaller, they actually have more rugby players, I believe, than Spanish. So, that's something. Samoa 35, Spain 20, says Peter Wild. So once again, the line out is just not straight. Oh, yeah, that's a good point there. If it's not straight and Samoa didn't contest, that should have actually been play on for the Spanish. He posted it about the second test in Eden Park. Says Lave, if they don't play a rugby, then play league, says Sandor. I found a Facebook stream, not glitchy, good quality. Yeah, although it is on FETV for anyone who does want the option on YouTube as well. I should mention, why is cowbells allowed at New Zealand rugby games? It's mainly to do with Waikato. Normally, for the Chiefs, they have the cowbells. That's kind of a tradition of their games. It's like how if you go to a game at Palmerston North, you'll see a lot of people with buckets on their heads. Like, that's just kind of the tradition, I guess you could say, of the team. Nice quick hands there from Dene Toala. Ben Nene going to be only 5 metres out from the try line now with Sama Malolo. Crash and Paul. Samoa deserved to win. Played on the same pitch as Theo McFarland once. Played in the third 15 and had 6 pairs before he ran out for the first 15. That one's going to be dropped. Not forward by Spain. Oh, a little bit of push and shove almost there for Owen Nue and one of the Spanish forwards. And good afternoon, forgot this was on. Well, that pitch is very bad. Says Novam, yeah, although they can't really help it. Unfortunately, with the amount of rain, Mataval goes through and slides in for the third try of the match of the Samoans. Well, Hamish, if it's on YouTube, should it be taken down? Not if it's the official Spanish, website. If it's the official Spanish one, then they will probably have the licensing of some sort. I was thinking, where's the defence? Says Mr. Orlin, but yeah, Malani Mataval. He's used to doing that in the sevens, taking the quick tap and running at the line. Pretty weak effort there from Vasquez. Gets through Samoa, scoring again. I thought the cowbells were the Brumby supporters. I learn something every day. Says Rafflesia there, and too easy, says Sandor. My prediction, Samoa by 20, says Spider Mech. As the score, and that kick has gone over, which now will make the score 21 points to 10. Spain might capitulate. Sorry, I don't know why I struggle so much with that word. Samoan pronunciation is pretty on point. Where'd you learn to pronounce? Just from sounding them out, I guess, is the main thing, but also just watching rugby and trying to work out the best way of being able to say that's kicked out on the full from the Spanish. We've also covered quite a bit of the Samoan 7, so that has drastically helped in terms of the pronunciation. We are going to be actually covering the Olympics with the Samoans in it. I always check the game out on the Spanish channel. And Brumbies are horses, says Doctor, and cowbells relate to the nickname Mulus, says Peter Wild. And Spain might capitulate now, says Sandor. That was a lot better, wasn't it? On the halfway line. The stream froze then, says Sandor. Now Malani Mataval going to be feeding this ball in for Samoa, who are building a nice lead here up against the Spanish. Any free stream links to the game, says Stogie. So your best bet is FE Rugby TV on YouTube. You don't even have to leave the platform. It's just on YouTube, and it is the Spanish Rugby Union YouTube channel. And you'll be able to watch the game on there. That one's kicked out on the full this time. I believe it was Malani Mataval, was it? No, in fact, it was Duncan Paiaua. Now, I know why the All Blacks have no games in Waikato this year, says the Wallaby. I think it's just because they normally pass them round, don't they, in terms of New Zealand locations. I think there was one at FMG last year, wasn't there? Now, getting ready to put this ball in will be the Spanish. Now, they have not had the most successful line out so far throughout today. It's actually because Hamilton, capital of New Zealand, too risky. Says Sandor, nicely stolen there by Sama Malolo. And now the ball is there for the Samoans just outside of the 22, the big man, Fipulei. Going off, Mataval goes to D'Angelo Leula. The tackle made on Denny Tuala. Mataval goes across to, I believe it would have been Sam Slade. Mataval, he's dropped around the side of the breakdown. Spain managed to flick it back. And Viuesa gets it into touch again. Will there be a boxing match on the field today? No, just kidding. Well, I guess no then. Although there was a bit of push and shove earlier on between two players. The reason behind the cowbells is to locate them. And when they get lost, easy for farmers to locate them by hearing the bell on their neck, says Spider Mech. There you go. 9 minutes left. And this first half thought on New Zealand chance against England. I think they've got a decent chance. I think they'll have a better game than they had last week. Now, England, a lot of their players, I feel, had their best performance they could have in that first game. So the question is whether or not New Zealand can find those improvements and capitalise on it, or whether England will once again be the more physical side in the forwards. And, yeah, New Zealand, at times, they just weren't really in that game. But then at other times, when they got the opportunities, they showed that they can score points. And that game is only, I believe it's 3.5 hours away, which is very exciting. We are going to be covering it, of course, on the channel, ladies and gents. So if you are new, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We're also covering New Zealand versus Fiji next week. We're covering Australia versus Wales tonight. Covering South Africa versus Ireland tonight. So be sure to give those ones a look. I'm about to be fed in by Bay. And up the Ys and up the ABs. Says Alive, and I think England going to spoil and squeak it. And it's Tana still in the Samoan coaching team. I'm not actually too sure. I know that he was with Moana Pacifica this year. But I'm not sure whether or not I think he might be actually. I'm trying to think of the last time I saw them play. Whether or not they don't really show the coaching boxes, but I can't remember if he's still in there or not, unfortunately, sorry. I need to shut down that bloody Ben Earls. Says Peter Wild, exactly right. Shut down Ben Earls, shut down Maro Atoje. They are two players. Did extremely well. What's this being played on? Says Fred Matthews. As in like the broadcaster or grass. I don't think that's the answer though. It's on TVNZ Plus for Sierra New Zealand. Rolling maul attempted here for the Samoans. They are 7 metres out from the line. Sama Malolo has got the position. Looks like it will be Milani Matavao who goes away to the left-hand side. D'Angelo Leola with a good straight run. Taken down about 10 metres out from the line. Quick answer. And Matavao gets it away to the captain for Theo McFarland. As an Atoje injured. Not that I know of. I know that Furbank got taken out late with an injury. I'll have to have a look and see whether or not England have posted anything. It would be a shame if he was, just because I feel like he was one of those players who were causing them all sorts of problems. And that last one, I'll just have a quick look. Nutmaro Atoje is there. He's all good. That's going to be the penalty to Spain, though. Only 5 metres out from the line. Yeah, the broadcast not on Sky. So, yeah, it is TVNZ Plus for us here in New Zealand. You forgot to say Chandler Cunningham himself, says Lave. I also forgot to say Ollie Lawrence, who I felt was one of the strongest players out there on the field as well. I don't care who will win tonight. I win either way. Did Samoa score a try and all that's too good? Says Lave. So they have scored 3 tries so far throughout this game. For the Samoans, high ball territorial kicks, line out, save the energy and good pressure. Says Mr. All-In, bomb that try. Yeah, they were extremely close and then just getting up and going again. Unfortunately, double movement against the Samoans there. The last 5 minutes, Spain have to make sure that they stay competitive. It's looking like they're getting pretty tired at the moment. It's going to be thrown in, and it is not taken cleanly. Instead, it will be again Sama Malolo who receives that ball off the back. Oh, D'Angelo Leula kicking it in behind. The ball stays in the field of play. Nue kicks it back. And there might have been the knock on. Yes, there was. And TVNZ Channel 1 or TVNZ Plus. TVNZ Plus. And All Blacks are too good. And bro, another wasted, says Sandor. Yeah, that was another perfect chance to go in over the try line. But sadly, just the handling at the end does end up letting them down. I'm surprised the speakers at the ground still work, or the fact that they'd actually want to use the speakers with it raining the way that it is. Yeah, just a little handling error from Nigel Awong there. 4 minutes remaining. Spain, they're going to be just out from their own try line. This play in Samoa, says Daniel Watson. It does indeed. At Apia Park, same location as they did play at last week in the game up against the Italians. What's his name? Hemi Nue. So yeah, it's Owen Nue. And he plays sevens. Well, he did play sevens. He's not in there anymore. Say a name and says Lave. I'm all right. Now 5 metres out from the line will be the Spanish scrum, which, to be fair, with the amount of slipperiness and whatnot, scrums have looked all right throughout this game so far. I don't think they've had too many troubles overall with how it has been going. Those people are going to get very wet going home, I would say. They're happy enough in the grandstand at the moment, But as soon as this game is over, it is going to be a wet one to get home. Now going off to the right-hand side. That's a knock-on from Spain, and then a knock-on from the Samoans. Looks like bad in the paddock, boys. Be keen on the showers tonight. So here's Fred. Wonder how much tickets are there. Can't imagine they are too expensive. So here's Novmum. Yeah, although last week they didn't have the best crowd, so I'm wondering whether or not maybe they dropped the prices from last week. Do you know how many of the Samoan players were actually from Samoa, not from overseas? I do not have those statistics. I know that Moana Pacifica is doing a lot for Pacific Island Rugby at the moment in terms of being able to grow them as a side, whether that's Samoa, Tonga, whether that's Fiji for the Fijian draw. We have got there daytime footy is the best, says Sandor. And they look like a grass pitch outside of stadium, which I guess is free. I guess so. Oh, grass patch, sorry, rather than grass pitch. Yeah, I guess they can't really stop you from watching from back there. That is another turnover. This time Spain have ended up with the possession. Unfortunately, the handling, letting both sides down throughout the last 5 or so minutes. What was that? Says Sandor. That is a good question. Where is Julian Savia now? Who's he playing for? So he was playing for Moana Pacifica. He's actually in the midfield throughout the season. Didn't score a huge amount of tries throughout the second half of the season. He was very good in the first half, but now TJ has got a really good lead in terms of the leading try scorer for Super Rugby Pacific of all time. Inside of their own 22, Vinuesa kicks it downfield, doesn't find touch. Ball is dropped by Duncan Paiua, who headbutts the ball out of frustration. He will be very disappointed with that one. Unfortunately, though, as a fullback in this type of game, it's always going to be hard to be able to catch those high balls. Definitely with how slippery it is. And I am surprised that we've seen so little handling errors throughout this game. Should bring back Union back to afternoon to avoid clash with the Warriors, says Spider Mick. But for the All Blacks, or are they better off saying the All Blacks take priority since it's international? Maybe the Warriors should play a bit earlier. You know? Right, sounds like the wind is also kicking up at the moment. Slightly behind the Samoans. Love how the Spanish players washing mud off faces in the puddles, says Peter Wild, I should say. What about the All Black that broke his leg? Being sent back home for some Magic Island medicine, where he now... That All Black that broke his leg, which one we talking about? Like TJ hurt his knee. Fikatoa played for Tonga a few days ago up against the Italians. They did lose, but he did play in that contest. Looks like Spain are actually going to take on the 3 points here. With only 40 seconds remaining in the half. This will more than likely take us to the end of the first 40 minutes. Oh. That's unlucky for Malani Matavao. They've said that his elbows were down, but I don't think there was ever any grounding for him. Yeah, and actually, D'Angelo Leula, I think he was asking him what that penalty was for, and he was kind of replicating what Matavao did, and he said, "No, you're all right," and gave him a kiss on the head. Now lining up this kick here for Spain. This isn't going to be the easiest kick. And it is over. Fantastic kick from the Spanish team, Vinuesa. And I believe, is that going to be half time, or do we still have time? It looks like the Spanish want to keep playing. And Highland in the Holo, he was playing for Canterbury the last time I saw. Actually went there alongside, I think it was his brother, Kinney Naholo, who has been at the Hurricanes. They're going to kick this one off here, Samoa. We are still in the first half. It hasn't quite come to an end. He went to some Magic League medicine, says Zandor. And that one, so Spain are going to kick this one into touch. And it is half-time now. 21 points to 13. A good first half from both of these sides, given the conditions that they are playing in. And actual way, man, there's a good strike, says Mr. Orland. Yeah, he looks like a really good talent, Vinuesa. And like these type of games are the ones that could get you signed for other sides. You know, we saw it for a couple of those guys when USA played New Zealand. A couple of them almost got offered big contracts. And I think one of them did in the end, playing in France, I think it was. Well, average salary in Samoa a year is about 16k New Zealand, says Novmum. I guess that does make a little bit of sense, seeing as they've got the population of only 230,000, I think it was, or something along those lines, before he got injured. And Nihi Monaskata was fast, and the Samoan scored. They've scored 3 tries. How do you become a channel member? I want to be one. It does cost money is the only thing, but it is below the chat, or actually below our channel name, where it has subscribed, there will be a button that says join, and that will give you access to the little emojis that we have got on the channel. He busted his leg, was ruled out, apparently had an uncle who could fix it. With some old skills. It was a few years ago, says Sandor, and there as well. But half-time in this contest, ladies and gentlemen, Samoa 21-13 for the Spanish. We are only sitting just under 3 hours away from, or just over 3 hours away, I should say, from New Zealand when they do take on the English. We are going to be covering that game on the channel. So anyone who is new to the channel, of course, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Have you heard from Rugby Hitchhammy? Been a while since Spider-Mick. I talked to him about 2 or 3 days ago. But we've also still been doing those videos on the channel for our All Blacks predictions and Springbok predictions and whatnot. We scored for Samoa. Says Mr. A. So we saw a try for Owen Nui. We saw a try for Malani Matavao. And then we also saw... who was the other one who managed to score in the end? I know those 2. Was it one of the forwards? Was it Sama Malolo? Got the other try. Whereas George says Matthew Lang, I would say he's at his house, at a guess. But yeah, he is. He's probably been farming today, more than likely. That is one thing that is, I guess, slightly unfortunate for farmers, is they don't normally get the weekend off, because, of course, the animals don't just go, oh, it's the weekend, we'll give him a couple of days where he doesn't have to work, and we'll see him on Monday. There's a good month for Samoa, one against Italy and Spain. Game going good so far. And yeah, some really nice steps in the right direction, I would say, for the Samoan side. Cheers, bro. Thank you. Cheers, Mr. A. And how's the ex-Samoan players going? Owen Nui. I know he scored, but how's he playing on and off the ball? Says Greg. It's probably a hard game. Like, it's a very tricky one to judge it off because of the rain. But overall, I think he's looked all right. Like, he looks quick out on that wing. I'd like to see him get an opportunity for Samoa in dry conditions, which I feel like we're going to see for the Pacific Nations Cup when it does take place in about 2 or 3 weekends' time. I'm too lazy to be a farmer. I like my weekends. Says Novmum. Bro, English or Spanish, you gay. Says Lave. I really do wonder whether or not you are an adult, Lave. I assume you are not. But, yeah. Looking through at the second half, of course, what these two sides need to be able to do to get themselves a victory. Spain just need to hang in this contest, because Samoa, as good as they have still been making a few mistakes every once in a while, which I do believe that if Spain are able to go out there early and find their momentum, you know, they could be within 1 point within the first 5 minutes of the second half. But then the other side of things, of course, is going to be for Samoa. If they score first, they could be running away with this contest. Waisaki Naholo, just Googled it. Traditional medicine fixed his leg, says Sandor. So it was Waisaki, not Malakai. And man, still a lot to clean up on. Conditions bad, but just need to finish. Finish defence either too far back, broken, or overcommitting numbers in the tackle when Samoa shift. Set piece is nice. Says Mr. Orland, why did you stop working at the bowling alley? I wasn't able to do both YouTube and the bowling alley because it was too time consuming on both parts. So I had to give up that to be able to still do the World Cup, because of course we were coming into the busiest time that we've ever had on the channel. So I had to choose to either commit to one or commit to the other, and I ended up committing to the World Cup. Yeah, Waisaki, not Fikatao, my bad. Says Sander for Spain, says Mr. Orlin. I'm actually 52 years old, bro, or lad, says Lave. Can we watch it, bro? So it is on YouTube. FE Rugby TV is where you can find it. It is the Spanish YouTube channel, like the official rugby channel that is. And yeah, it's not too far away from the second half getting underway. Good commit, quality commentary. Says Avikal Teemu. Hopefully I've said that correctly. I feel like I mispronounce it every time I say it though, so I do apologise for that. There's a few players that we haven't seen too much of. Vinuesa for the Spanish, I think, has been strong. We saw one good run from Maz, and that was about all we've seen. And we haven't really seen too many of the other backs, unfortunately. We've seen a bit of Bay as well for the Samoans. Do you go to uni? I do not know. That's why we hit the likes and subscribe button, guys. Says Robert. But Mataval, they're just showing some of his attacking runs that he's had throughout the first up. He has certainly been one of those players that have helped set up quite a bit. Damien at 10, what are your thoughts? I think he's all right. Like, at the end of the day, it was his first game as the All Blacks 10 in a very long time. Anytime he's played for the ABs, it's normally either been at fullback or he's had limited minutes coming out onto the field. So I think that as he spends more time on the field, he will start to get a lot stronger at international level. Great commentary, says S. Lesser. Thank you very much. Hamish, do you think I'm disrespectful? You had no reaction to 52 years old, Hamish. Says Lave. Wait, so you think... Wait, do you think I'm disrespectful? You had no reaction to 52 years old. I mean wise. I mean to say 52 is wise, says Sandor, rather than ancient. I think Fiji will win the Pacific Nations again, says Ricardo. Yeah, although it'll be interesting because at the end of the day, like Samoa, if they keep on playing like they are here, like that'd be a hard side for Fiji to beat on a given day. Definitely if it's dry rather than in the wet conditions. Pronunciation spot on. You could commentate all the Moana Pacifica games with your pronunciation. We actually covered quite a few of their games throughout the regular season of Super Rugby Pacific. Of course, not like professionally, but just on the channel doing the commentary for those matches. Just showing that last minute 3 points that the Spanish were able to get for themselves, making it 21 points to 13 as we do head towards the second half. But do let me know your score predictions for this one, ladies and gentlemen. Who will it be that walks away with the victory here? Will it be the Samoans? Will it be Spain, who can cause an upset and get themselves back into this contest? At the moment, in terms of the odds, of course, Samoa do come in as the favourites here. But that can all change. If there's an early try, who being the try scorer, says Matthew. So we did see the try scored by Malani Mataval and also by Owen Nue. So actually two of the Sevens boys managing to score. I believe there was one other, but once again, I think I missed it in the replay that they were showing. It might have been D'Angelo Leula. No, I was joking. I'm 10 years old. Says Lave, 42-20. Says Adam for his score prediction. Samoa to open it up in there as well. That's the thing. Like, Samoa have got the potential of, if they find momentum early on in this second half, they have got a large chance of being able to score a lot of tries in a hurry. And that will be pretty bad news for the Spanish side because we haven't seen them in action too much recently. They didn't play last week, which means they will be more fatigued in this second half. It's a trap. This guy over here, FBI, says Sandor. And 28-20, my final prediction, says Lave. Okay, so you're saying one more converted try for both of these sides. And while we are at the halftime break, of course, more rain is going to be falling, which does bring us more wetness in that second half. Thoughts on Eddie Jones' drama? Apparently jumping ship at Japan already. Where's he jumping to, though, for Eddie Jones? Is he staying in Japan or is he going to a different international side? Of course, there was the controversy of him leaving the Australians. That was one that caused a bit of a talking point. They're just showing a man driving through a puddle. And that's about how it is for the players out there on the field when they're running through. Can someone please post a link? I can't find the stream. Says Samuel. One moment. We'll go like this. Hopefully it loads. We'll go like that. We'll go like that. We'll go like that. There you go. That is the link, Samuel. It is half time though, of course, so like we've got a little bit of time before the second half starts back up. I should go to the Satyrs, Says Mr. Orlin, and rumours are him leaving national side to coach the Sunwolves. Says Matthew. Although the Sunwolves, are they even a thing yet? Is that for if they were to join Super Rugby? Eddie Jones should just give up everywhere he goes. It's all about himself. Says Ricardo. Muchos gracias. Says Samuel, no worries. He's going to coach the Parramatta Eels. Interesting. I mean, Michael Cheika did coach a rugby league side. He was coaching Lebanon, I believe, throughout that Rugby League World Cup. How many years ago was that? That must be, I think next year might be the next Rugby League World Cup. Possibly. And Hamish, if I get the final score correct, you have to shout me out in the end of the live stream and just before you leave. What was your score prediction? 28-20. Wait, you've had 28-20, but didn't you also have another prediction somewhere? There, so you're going 28-20 as your final. Oh no, that was your prediction, wasn't it? I guess that's fair. I would say we're 2 minutes away from the second half starting back up. It looks like the Spanish players are just making their way out onto the field again here, ladies and gentlemen. Still absolutely pouring down at Apia Park. But I don't think it's going to be one of those games that we don't see many people scoring throughout the second half. Some weird progress. We just got an ad for a guy who was trying to get a sloth down from a tree or like a climbing wall, and then the sloth made him fall. TV, ladies and gents. Right, we are very close to the second half getting back underway, or at least we should be. It's actually kicked off. I do see the Spanish are in position inside of the 22. Their stream is a lot further ahead than NZR+. Okay, no, we're back underway now. Right, it's going to be on the 22. Bay kicks it downfield. Apparently, Eddie said the national side is a complete mess. Doesn't want to be part of it. I move to the Sunwolves more likely, says Matthew Lang. But surely if it's a mess, that's what the coach's job to a certain extent is, to try and fix it. Like, he made a mess of the Australian system. But, like, yeah, I don't know what he's doing. He's getting, like, way too much money, I think, though. Because if you're going from one, like, multi-million-dollar contract to another multi-million-dollar contract after having the worst ever finish for a national side, like, someone's paying you too much. And Japan, I hope that they aren't completely oblivious to the fact that, like, he's probably just going to milk them and then go again. So Spain need to score, says Robert. Can you send me something before the second half? Like, I mean, anything, picture or an embarrassing picture of you, but it will be between us. I will not do that, no. That's going to be, I'll be Malani Mataval, 10 metres out from the line. Now off to Deni Tawala. 80 would know a miss, says Sandor. Loose ball. Well cleaned up by the Samoan. So Malani Mataval now trying to bust his way through. Mataval again. Going off to the right-hand side. In a position currently, Mataval down to the knees. There was Tawala. Leula looks for the offload, but it's stolen by Spain. And they're going back for something, unfortunately. I think it was offside. Sunwolves confirmed joining Super Rugby 2025. That's where this news is from. Says Matthew Lang. Is this on Stan? It is sadly not, but it is on YouTube. FE Rugby TV. The image of Eddie Jones milking the nation of Japan is disturbing, says Grant. Good thing Eddie's not at the Bulls. You tried to milk it. That'd be weird, says Sandor. You should like how Eddie Jones coached a team like the USA. Or I would like to see a team, says Simon there. Yeah, I think a lot of people want to see what he would be able to do with the USA, although there are also the other side of things out. A lot of people don't want to see him do that because they're worried he might ruin the progress that they're making. That wasn't a straight throw, unfortunately, for Samoa. They were only 5 metres out from the line, but Samoa Malolo just couldn't quite get that one straight. He's half Japanese, says Sandor. Yeah, I mean, he's half Japanese, half Australian, and he's already burnt a bridge with one of his nations, so, you know, why wouldn't he burn it with the other? Our thoughts on Cheetah's chance in Super Rugby this year? Says Matthew Lang. Chance on the Cheetah's chance. They weren't in it this year. And Super Rugby's finished for this year, Matthew. He's a good catch with terrible social skills, says Robert. He is. Like, it can't be denied that Eddie Jones makes a press conference interesting, you know? Like, in terms of whether you like him or you hate him, people do watch what he does, you know? Whether it's talking or whether it's coaching, people will still keep an eye on what Eddie Jones is up to. The end has dropped time to go, says Samuel. It's going to be kicked downfield. And Duncan Paiaua now. On back across there. Nice attack and run from Owen Nue. Manages to bust through 2 tackles. He is dragged down in the third. Mataval now. Samoa looking to use their back line. That's going to be knocked on. I mean, next year, South African and Japan teams back in Super Rugby for 2025. Well, they're just not, are they? And the other half is Australian, says Spider Mick, and England's most successful coach, says Samuel. Yeah, and then they sacked him. But then you wonder whether or not, I know that they talked about for that side of things that it was like the players and him weren't really getting along, which doesn't surprise me. Has South Africa got so much talent? They have multiple comps, says Sandor. Slippery out there on the field by the looks of. Please stop talking about Eddie, everyone. Let's pump Samoan Spanish rugby, says David. Spanish, they have got themselves the scrumpy, about 38 metres out from the line. That was a bad move for everyone, says Mr. Orlin. Now, it's going to be a wheel and scrum. 47-37 for the English. Wow. 27-17 maybe, right? But I don't know if we're going to see 80-plus points scored between the All Blacks and England. Definitely not when we only saw them score 31 points last game against each other. But like a 10-point margin, who knows? But yeah, I don't think it will be too high scoring between those two sides. Wonder why South Africa quit Super and end up in the North. Thoughts on Sonny Bill getting a head coaching job, says Matthew Lang. See, the problem we've got, Matthew, is if you ever say something factual now, we're just not going to believe you because of the 2 cent situation. So, like, everything you say at this point we take as a lie. Unfortunately for you. That one is now going to miss for the Spanish. Gone to the right-hand side. New Zealand and Australia miss South Africa and Super Rugby, says Ricardo. They quit because of travel. They're in the same time zones now. 39-19 to Ireland. See, that one could be a little bit more likely. Definitely if South Africa can find their rhythm early on in that second half. We saw them score a lot of points up against the Spanish. Although I'm shocked you remember that. It was only a week ago. It's not that long. And any website to have stats on this game, says Nicholas. Probably, Rugby Pass may have it after the game. I don't know whether or not they'd have it during the game. But after the contest, they may have some stats about it. I don't know whether they'll have exact player statistics, though, for this one. So it kicked a little bit too far there. For the Spanish, looks like it's going to be a 5-metre scrum. Springboks are going to run rampant. I can feel it. The broadcasting rights have been done for 2025, and they're not going to introduce teams before then, says Simon. Okay, thanks, man, says Nicholas. Looks like they changed now. Malani Mataval will make his way from the field. He has had a brilliant game of rugby so far. Looks like Iritara Emery will make his way onto field now for Samoa. About to feed the ball in Samoa, only 5 metres out from the line. It's going to be Bay. Puts the ball in. Will they consider Mars off the back? They do not. Instead, they are going to go off to the left-hand side. Great attacking run. That is very close to a try being scored. Looks like Spain have been able to recycle it though. Keep that ball alive for a little bit longer. And looking through for the ball. Now 2 metres out from the try line. Offloading it up already. Another penalty advantage. And they'll go back for the penalty. How's that not a try? Yeah, they got extremely close. Samoa have a good team. That's why I said it's happening in 2025. There's Matthew Lang. But once again, you have been known to be a non-reliable source in the past, so we can't quite trust what you're saying. Matavao is a 7-star. He is. I'm wondering, like, I don't think he's going to be there for the Olympics, but I could be wrong. I don't know whether Samoa have confirmed everyone that will be going as of yet, but they do need Milani Matavao, I believe, for Samoa to have any sort of decent chance. Good morning, Hamish. We're going to be perfect for the game at Durban today. Confident Springboks will win today. I'm hoping for England to beat the All Blacks. Maybe too big to ask. Says Brian. And they are in talks at least. Says Sandor. And are we in the second half? We are now, yes. 48 minutes through at the moment in this contest. Spain once again will have themselves the scrum feed 5 metres out from Samoa's line. Australia 37 for Wales. I know. But you have to admit that 2 cents trial was legendary. I fooled everyone. Says Matthew. I mean, you fooled them, but at the same time, you just caused problems. Because, like, Tony had to ring Mark to find out whether it was true. So then he was annoyed, and I think he's still annoyed about it. So you're best not to remind him about it. But, yeah, it was more so the fact that we just took your word for it. We thought, oh, well, we've heard from Matthew before. We thought we could trust him, and now everyone's like, nah, he's foolish, you know. But now 2 metres out from the line there. That's very close to getting the try here for Spain. They're about 1 metre out. Tony was drunk and wanted somebody to talk to. Our bro talk about the game more. Says Liam Owen was once again Samoa have been able to defend. At the moment, we're in the same process, which is going back and forth, 5 metres out. Spain get themselves a penalty, and then they go for the scrum. They get 2 metres out. I wasn't mad. Says Sandor, he was, if you saw the messages that I got. But currently 30 metres out. Sorry, 3 metres out, or about 5 metres now. Game is awesome, Liam. I see Khaleesi 3 tries for the Springboks. That would be impressive. I mean, he had quite a bit of the ball in the last contest. Push over. That's the thing, Spain's scrum haven't gone forward, though, unfortunately, in the last couple times. So hopefully this is one. But now, 5 metres out. Can Spain get back into this contest? They're only 8 points down at the moment. See whether or not they can get over. Too fat and too transparent. Says Samuel. I don't know why people always say that Sia Khaleesi is too fat. I don't know where that rumour's come from. Did you see him moving in that first match is the question I'd have to ask, because he was everywhere. And that's a great offload from Spain. And that is going to be another try for the Spanish. They are back in this game, ladies and gentlemen. Are they going to do what Samoa did to Italy last week? His boss, says Samuel in there as well. Is that their one from France, wasn't it? But yeah, it's weird, isn't it, to call these guys who are like freak athletes in terms of their abilities and the terms of the numbers that they put out and whatnot. And then they're like, oh, you know, he's a fat player. Coming from a guy who, I don't want to make assumptions, but is probably in way worse shape than any of the players in that top 14. And maybe he coasted at club level. That is also the possibility. But even coasting, you know, you'd still take some of those guys. Chio No says Spider Mick. Now we have a game, says Robert Ward. We certainly do. Spain are back in it now. And that is a fantastic offload from Bay at number 9. Right, Samoa doing a Samoa. What were the messages? Why was he mad? Says Matthew Lang. I mean, there were the messages in the chat as well to kind of go off. But then, of course, he was drunk. But yeah, he made the phone call to make sure that everything was all right with Mark, because you made up the rumour that he was quitting because of the hate that he was getting, or he got sick of like people being negative. So then, of course, he thought his friend was going through something, so he rung him to make sure that he was all right. And surely Spain don't do the upset. We'd think not, but tell you what, they're doing all right at the moment. Now I need Samoa to win for half-time and full-time. And can you read my message to Samoa why? I don't see your message, Brandon. I don't think... Oh, no, there he is. I'm in Queenstown. Not far from you. I'm there for vacation with my wife. Lovely. Hopefully you are enjoying your vacation. And the entire Springbok pack is shredded. Jesse Creel looks like a bodybuilder. Says Sandor. Yeah, because the thing is, people will be like, because they weigh a little bit extra, some of the players, that they must, have fat on them. But it's normally just the muscle, isn't it? Like, some of the guys are, like you said, shredded. Sia Khaleesi is like Richie McCaw, except Sia doesn't cheat. Says Sandor. Scrum feed now. Please, Samoa, don't lose. My cat just died. Says Doctor. Well, I'm sorry about your cat. Looks like Eritara Inari now going to have the scrum feed here. "26 minutes left. Plenty of time. 1 point difference, though, between these two teams. And that one's gone down in the front rows, but it is available for Samoa to use. Danny Tawala, short ball there to Stacey Ely, who is 22 metres out. So he is the best captain for the Springboks. Says Yako. Eritara Inari looks like he's going to go to the other side. Have a seat high. As she said, come down if you got time. I probably will not have time, seeing as we got international rugby all weekend, but I appreciate the invite. That's going to be the penalty going the way of the Samoans again. Oh, Sama Malolo wanted it quickly, and Danny Tuala ripped him back by his collar. He looked like he was about to drop him. Yeah, Sama Malolo wanted to go. Now it looks like they're going to go for the corner instead. Spoke to tune for 14 minutes. Do they have water breaks, Emmy? They have had a couple. I think they've had, the two so far, or one throughout that first half. Looks like they are going to go tap and go here. Oh, Eritara Inari, there is a forward pass there from the Samoan. I think the French guy mentioned you gain weight, not actually fat. He was paying his wage, so maybe entitled to his opinion. For Racing 92, says Samuel. Yeah, well, it's not exactly a great way of making friends, is it, with your players? Like, they always talk about the harsh environment that some of those French sides do have, which is pretty much like you can be their best friend if you play well, but as soon as you have a bad game, they put you right down the bottom of the list. We saw Julian Savia. He had that a long time ago. And dang, now I think I need to apologise to him. So here's Matthew Lang. I mean, he may not remember it because he was drunk. Mark will probably remember it if he did end up calling him. I just watched last week's highlights, Italy versus Samoa. I had to do okay at home, the Manu Samoans. Says Hanoi. And they can just drink direct from the field. It might be a bit dirty, I would say, the water they got out there. Samoa do this for Hamish. Says Brandon. Now, it's going to be another scrum feed for the Spanish. We've seen a lot more scrums and stoppages throughout the second half. And that is a big scrum from the Samoans, with the ball has popped out the back for Imas. I look, if anybody needs to be trolled, it's Tony. He's too salty. Says Sandor. Looked like a player leaving his feet in the breakdown there for the Spanish. A lot of pressure coming in from Samoa. That's a great kick from Bay. In fact, that is a phenomenal kick. Him and also Vinuesa, I think, for Spain have been absolutely phenomenal throughout this game. They play on synthetic, Hamish. Says Spider-Mech. Now 23 minutes left. Game progresses towards the end. Could be a last-minute thriller here. So Sama Malolo. Kim will have himself the line-out. He's had a relatively strong game. We've seen a few wonky line-outs, but in these type of conditions, you do expect at least a few mistakes. Come on, Samoa, please. Nicely claimed by Sam Slade. Now kicking it high, D'Angelo Leula. An afternoon, brother Hamish. How you doing well, mate? I hope you're doing well, mate. You're all cool. Doing very well, Birdie. Excited, of course, for 3 more big international games that we are doing later on. Next one, New Zealand versus England. It's going to be a big one. Once back question time breakdown. What do you think All Blacks need to change for game tonight? I think that they need to have a lot more contestable kicks rather than just kicking it downfield, giving possession back to the opposition. They need to make sure that they at least chase it. If Spain seems uncalled for. Do you know how I can view this in odds, says Annoy? Your best bet is FE Rugby TV on YouTube. That is the Spanish Rugby Union side's channel. Hands are gone now, says Sandor. Where can we watch? Once again, FE Rugby TV on YouTube. It's going to be an epic game. Let's go, says Birdie V. And Samoa teams from between 91 and 95. We'll beat Samoa teams from 2019 2024. And cool, thanks, says Annoy. And also we've got there, come on Samoa, please. Come on Spain, says Robert. How can I become a mod on this channel? Says Matthew. We're not really looking for any new mods at the moment. But also, at the same time, I know that it seems harsh, but if you're willing to troll normally, how do we know you're not going to troll as a moderator and start timing out random people? So that's one thing that would probably be a problem. The headlines tomorrow. Were we too harsh on Fozzie? Says Sandor. I hope Wales can get the win versus Australia. I'll be able to join you. I'm at the store. People are literally staring at me. I don't care. It's the Kiwi Lads channel. Says Lave. Thanks for the live or watching from Craigie Burn in Melbourne. Says Vicasio. Nice. I did visit Melbourne in 2020, I think. Might have been. A little while ago. And Hamish, when was the last time a side beat All Blacks at Eden Park? It was 23 points to 20. The French in 1994 was the last time. Since then, the All Blacks are on a 48-match unbeaten streak. They've had 2 draws throughout that time. Now, nice pass on the outside. That's going to be a knock-on, or is it? No, Owen Nue has gone backwards. Taramai has to play halfback. D'Angelo Leola, of course, has been heavily involved throughout this one. The damn French is Ricardo there. Now back across. That ball is going to be loose. Looks like maybe there was a knock-on from, I thought, Samoa. That time it was this time. Or was it? No, referee says play on, and Samoa get the penalty. And pronounced D'Angelo Leola, says Andre there. And Spanish has some big forwards, says Annoy, and Scrum squad eating dirt every few minutes. Yeah, unfortunately, we've seen a lot of drop balls throughout the second half, so we have seen both sides have faces in the mud. 20 minutes left. Oh, looks like Samoa Malola might not be too far off, maybe getting subbed here. And we have got their French team beat them in 2011, except Jalbert was bought and paid for. Says Sandor. Although it wasn't at Eden Park is the key there. Yeah, I thought there was a knock-on from Samoa in the build-up of that play. They definitely need to try soon. It's the last thing that they want is to take this game right down to the wire and not have a lead of more than 7. Samoa Malolo, after getting a bit of a leg stretch, was that not Eden Park, says Sandor? It was not, no. I don't think so, anyway. Rugby Hitch is streaming the ABs versus England game. He is not, no, because he's currently on his sabbatical. Oh, that's a drop ball in the pocket. A man who's been so strong, Vinuesa, throughout the game. Unfortunately, the one moment that he needed it most, ask him about a mod, and you pick England over the All Blacks, says Peter Wild. Eden Park is a graveyard for any team. However, the tries scored so far any good. There's been a couple nice tries. Blacks haven't lost at Eden Park since 1986. Well, it was 1994 against the French. 23 points to 20 in that contest. And Samoa 29 points to 20, says Jaco Robertson. And there as well. It wouldn't have been Wellington, surely. Matthew hates you. Says Lave in 1994, last Eden Park loss, and score update at the moment is 21 points to 20, 62 minutes in to the contest. And Samoa yet again have got themselves another scrum feed, this one going to be from about 20 metres out from the try line. All Blacks lost in 94, says Sandor. Now off the back. Oh, looked like there was almost an ankle injury there. For the big man at 20. I believe it is Patello Mapu. I meant lost to the Wallabies at Eden Park last in 1986. Who's in possession and closest to the try. At the moment, Samoa have got the ball, and they are close to that try line. There's the big run there from Patello Mapu. Now only 10 metres out from the line, the big replacement, Taitai Tuimanga. Although Spain managed to get themselves the turnover. Stream lagged out with all the rain. And come on, Samoa and Wallabies, we're good in the 80, says Sandor. This game's going to be close. Like, Samoa were expected to win it maybe relatively comfortably, but the Spanish are just not giving in. And they will continue to keep fighting. I'm going to see whether or not there are odds for this game at the moment with how it sits. The Wallabies were good in the 80s, and come on, Samoa, says Island Boy. At the moment in play, where are we? Internationals. Okay, it's all suspended because I think TAB might be worried they were going to lose some money. Is Samoa going to win? I need them to win for my bet, says Dan. They're currently winning by 1 point. It's going to be a close finish, though. And this one going to the wire, says Sandor. That was $8 before the game. Okay, so, yeah, quite big underdogs in this one, the Spanish. Now kicking it high. No, he doesn't get the kick away because Theo McFarlane was there to be able to get the charge down. It was $1 Samoa, $5 Spain. Wait, so you back Samoa for $1 for your dollar. So surely you're not getting any money back, Dan, if that's the case. And what I hit says Sandor. Oh, yeah, big shot coming in there by, I believe it was Leilua this time, and the penalty goes the way of Samoa. Now, this might be a great time to take 3 points if you are the Samoans, just to extend that lead to more than 3. Interesting to see how Spain go next against Tonga, says Simon. Yeah, I don't think they're showing that game here in New Zealand, although if they're showing it on YouTube, of course, we will be able to cover it on the channel. What I hit, says Sandor. I want Spain to win. They came so far around the world. This game is turning into a classic game. Most of the world won't have ever seen it. And I got a 4-leg multi, 250 for 3K return. So when did you back the Samoans? And what odds? It is never $1. It would be 1 and 1. There's Rafflesia there, and that was a big collision. And Samoa and Wallabies win tonight. Thoughts? I think they should. Like, they've still gone with a very strong side, and they've built a little bit chemistry, I could say, from last game. Hang on. Spain actually got themselves the penalty there. So I don't know who's gone in there, whether it's the TMO or maybe the assistant referee might have given the ruling. Looks like they need some nappy sand when washing the kits. Says no, mum. You're definitely with the white shorts of the Samoans. Now thrown into the front there for the Spanish. I believe it was Alvaro Garcia gets it right, and Wallabies got a bit of confidence. They only have their tails up. Samoa paying like $1.05 to win, and Spain $5. So I guess the question is, why did you put them in the multi? I guess it was because it seemed like safe money, but like hopefully it doesn't cost you. And come on, Spain, says Robert, and Pumas to beat France. Head high, I think, says Ricardo. Will they prevent you from beating or betting on that? Option is if it is too close to $1. Says Rafflesia, that is a kick downfield from the Samoans. Decent clearance, about 35 metres out now. Spain have got themselves another line out. Maybe many Spanish guys play on France, so are good players. Says Hanoi. Thoughts on the Cheetahs? I mean, they're doing all right in the Curry Cup at the moment, aren't they? Or did they lose last week? I know that the Griffins got beaten badly. Did you hear about the French fullback getting suspended? I did. He is not going to be playing in the game up against Argentina. And he is no longer in Argentina as well, I believe. Now rolling forward here for the Samoans. Well, sorry, that's going to actually be the advantage going in favour of the Spanish here. 13 minutes left. Bay looking for the little chip in behind. I think Samoa are going to regret not taking a few 3-pointers because Spain now have the opportunity to take the lead in this contest. I have Samoa brought the lube with them ahead of being penetrated by Spain. says Elijah. Welcome in, Elijah. That is one of the most unique comments we have seen from someone for their first time ever commenting on the channel, so you get an award for that. Sever Reese and Artie Savia score against England. First, was it PEDs? It was not, no. It was something different to that. Spain will lose 100%, says Matthew Lang. And no, says S. Lesser. And bring the Cheetahs back to Super Rugby, says David. No lube needed, it's wet as. Melvin Chaminaire, yep. He's the one who has been sent home. Now lining up this kick. He's been great throughout the rest of the day. Vinuesa. He's nailed some very tough kicks. But is it going to be the case here again? Sorry for the lube comments, says Elijah. It's all right. I assume you're going for Spain in this game then, just at a guess. But they are in the lead now, 23 points to 21. The Spanish, they have taken the lead in this contest. Be an interesting one. Vinuesa. He has had a great game so far, but Sama Malolo looks like he will make his way from the field now. Spain takes this one. Any Moana Pacifica guy in the Samoan teams, quite a few scattered throughout this 23-man side. And Aussie's working on an 8-0 split for the next game against South Africa. All props of Tongan descent, innovation. Says Samuel, I don't normally make crew comments, so please don't time me out. Look, my hands are here. No one was going to time me out for it. It's all good. Now D'Angelo Lehula, or De Lehula, I should say, kicks it high. Awkward bouncing ball for Spain, managing to re-get the baton to the ball there for the Samoans, and they will win the penalty this time. Moana Pacifica is useless team. They should be kicked out of Super Rugby, but they just shouldn't, should they? What are your predictions for the rest of the games today? So I'm going to say New Zealand, Australia, and South Africa, all the home sides getting the victories. France versus Argentina, I do actually think that France is probably going to get a win again. Aussie can't count to 8, pull the other one. Says Sandor, right, this time they are going for the kick. But there is a huge amount of mud at the moment. Ben O'Keefe, ref lol. A margin of victory, says Elijah. I think New Zealand, England will be close. I think that South Africa, Ireland will be a little bit more spread, and then I think Australia versus Wales will be the most one-sided. Also, no suit today, not for this one, just because they had a bit of a gap after this game compared to the next, but we will have the suit on a bit later on for the next game. But yeah, we're just chilling out in the hoodie at the moment before we put the suit and tie on. Getting ready for this kick again. Will be D'Angelo Lewila. And he has got it over. Samoa taking the lead back. Now sitting 24 points to 23. Tier 2 doesn't get a suit. Wow, says Sandor. Or you could have listened to what I said, and I said I just wanted to be comfy for the first stream of the day. Is Samoa team pick from unranked New Zealand clubs, says Mark. From unranked New Zealand clubs. No, they've got most of the guys in this team are from Moana Pacifica. Team playing in Super Rugby Pacific. Currently 9 minutes left. Score is separated by 1 point. At the moment, we'll let it slide for now. Says Elijah there, the crowd getting value for money. You need to stop swearing. When? I don't think I've sworn once on this stream, have I? Or are you talking about the other channel? Maybe. And score update, boss. So currently it is 24 points to 23. Scoreboard hasn't updated, but yeah, it's currently the same point. Hamish wears smart clothes for all the big games. Respect to you for respecting the great sides. Yeah, although would normally, it's not so much that they're the good sides, it's just more of the fact that it's the games that more people are anticipating. Please update scoreboard. Sadly, I have no control over it, but all you need to know is 1 point difference at the moment. Thanks for sharing this. Going to even find a live score. No worries at all. There is one on FE Rugby TV, the YouTube channel. Respect for live streaming this game too, says Elijah. See, that's the thing. A lot of people weren't going to do this game because either they didn't know where to watch it, or it's just more of those ones that a lot of people don't cover these lower, ranked sides. But we try our best to cover them if we can watch them. Oh yeah, good there. Is it raining? It certainly is pouring down with rain. At the moment, that looks like another penalty will go the way of Samoa. Hands down in the breakdown. George swears too much, says Levi, although he senses it a lot on the entertainment channel. Samoa, Tonga, Fiji and Māori All Blacks should be or have an actual competition. They need to improve their rugby skills. Well, to be fair, Fiji, Samoa and Tonga alongside Japan do have a rugby competition. And they are starting in 40 days' time, I believe, for the Pacific Nations Cup. Worth the sub just for this. And we are also going to be covering New Zealand versus England, Australia versus Wales, as well as the game taking place later on between Ireland and South Africa. It's good for the game. Will you be watching South Africa-Portugal game the next weekend too? We certainly will be. We'll be covering it on the channel. And that one's going to be knocked on by Samoa. The handling is starting to kick in a lot. I say Tonga again. That was nice. Says Sandor and sub says Rosie. Thank you very much. Oh, wow, that's awesome, says Reflecting Trees. Now, it's going to be about 42 metres out from the line, and Samoa have conceded another scrum. Spain losing their nerve. I think both of these sides are, as this match has progressed. We've got to remember the lighting is getting a little bit worse at the game as well. So, you know, it's probably a lot darker at the game than we can see through the screen. Hamish, don't forget today, regular breaks, lad, says Elijah. And there as well. Oh, yeah, good there. No, not George, says Robert. Oh, well, it's anyone's game, says Moa Hunters. Aaron Smith died, says Levi. If you're joking, don't. Because we have already seen one Highlanders player pass away this year, so I don't think it's much of a joking matter. I just showed up and looking at the score, I wasn't expecting this score. There's going to be another knock-on. This time from Samoa again. So it is going to be another Spanish scrum. Means good luck. It just doesn't, though. I've done YouTube long enough to have been sworn at many times in Samoan, so I do know exactly what that word means. Don't do about Diff, bro. Says Elijah in there. Currently on there, 22. Is Keith and Samoan. It just isn't, though, is it? How did you pull up from last weekend marathon of rugby? Pretty rough overall, but I should mention we got the marathon this weekend of rugby, and then we're also going to be doing at least one game of the under-20 semi-finals that are taking place the night after, so I probably won't get to catch up on sleep until about Tuesday or Wednesday this week, if I'm lucky. And then we're into it. It's French, it means good luck, so he's right, says Dan, and drop kick time, says Robert. You know, Spain, like, they've had a lot more of the possession throughout the last 5 minutes or so. DJ playing a Spanish song that was dubbed in Samoan, fitting, eh? This game's going to be very, very close. I've just, you know, you have that realization once you get into the last 10 minutes of the game, like, they're only split by one. A penalty. Oh, that's a penalty. No, it's a forward pass. Spain will botch this, says Matthew Lang. So a mistake there from the Spanish means now that Samoa have got themselves the scrum. They're only about 25 metres out from the line. Drop kick time, says Robert in there. There's a chance that we might see that didn't look forward. It wasn't the most forward pass we will ever see overall. Like, we've seen much worse. Well, we'll go like that, and we will go like that. I just wanted to see which way they thought that the odds were sitting for this one in terms of whether or not Samoa. Can we get a Chahu for some good luck for me? Unfortunately, I do not Chahu very well. Sadly, that is going to be another knock on with the penalty advantage in favour of the Samoans. This will be interesting now. I actually do content with the Egg Chasers Rugby or 2 Cents, right? We've actually done some stuff with 2 Cents before. We had him on a live stream one time, him and Distracted Sports. And guys can't hold on to anything, says Sandor. Forward is forward, says S. Lesser. And take aim is just 3, says Mr. All-In. And yeah, I think Samoa will have to go for the 3 points here, extend their lead to 4, which will then put the pressure on Spain to be able to score a try rather than taking a 3. Now, I should also mention the scoreboard has gone back to 73.5 minutes. So there is a slight chance that we have a little bit more time left on the clock than we first anticipated. How long left, champ? Still 6.5 minutes according to the official scoreboard, but there is a chance that that could be wrong. Which sounds funny when you say it is the official scoreboard, but it might be incorrect. I agree, says Lesser. Spain have done good today. They have. They've certainly shown everyone that they are a great side when they get the opportunity. Lo, you're not allowed to say 2 cents on this stream after my performance last week. Says Matthew. Well, we did. We did a whole live stream with him. I think it was a State of Origin one in the end. Me, him, and Tony were reacting to memes made about ourselves. But that is going to be going over 27 points to 23 now. Spain need to try to win. Samoa, they just need to keep on doing what they're doing, extending that lead as much as they can. And they've gone with the low, awkward kickoff there for Spain. Samoa getting it in their hands and booting downfield. Oh, it's an awkward one. Espanol are doing awesome. Says reflecting trees. Now it is going to be kicked downfield. Let's go Samoa. Says Dan. Picked up by Lawila. As Spain gets better and better, says Rave. And Dan won't take the good luck away. Had too much rugby this weekend in tennis finals, says Elijah, and force him back, says Sandor. It's become a bit of a kicking battle between these two teams. 5 metres out, or 10 metres in fact, from their own line. Here comes Owen Nue. Goes across to Lawila again. And he's looking for the 50-22, although that ball will just pull up because of how wet it is. Pop pass up to the Spanish fly half. It's a good kick downfield, but well handled at the back from Stacey Ely, who will go for a kick of his own downfield. That one's going to pull up, of course, because of the amount of water on the surface of the pitch. Now, kicked into touch. And that is going to be a Samoan line out. Now, I need to go back to my errands. Can the clock go down fast? And thoughts on Rassi and his new coaching team. Looks like it's going all right. First 2 games, they've pulled off 2 victories and gone with an unchanged 23, which is something you don't see too often for a team in international rugby. Go Stacey Jones, says Dan. And also we have got there Samoa, that's us, says Dan. Whoever scores next will win, is the comment from the commentator. If Spain score now, they probably would win this game. If Samoa score now, that should seal the deal for them. Even if they got a 3-pointer, just something to tick over some points would be massive for them. Nicely claimed by Samoa again. 40 metres out from the line. They would love a penalty advantage here. Spain, they are trying their best not to concede one. Still rolling maul. They move up to only about 22 metres out. That rolling maul has made 18 metres so far, and it continues to go forward here for the Samoans. They're hoping for that penalty advantage, although I think that ball is stuck in there. Samoa trying to recycle it. Spain trying to keep that ball in there. It is available for Amalorsi boys. Says Visasio there. Great effort from Spain, says Samuel. Now, Eritarienere. That looked like it was a knock-on from Michael Curry, but they say it's gone backwards. And now, kicked in behind. And it's scored as well. That did look like it might have been a knock-on initially, but Nigel Awong will score the try. And that will give the Samoans the win. And this one go Mike, says Dan there, diversion, says Mr. All-In. Can you do a stream with the shopping channel? Probably not, because I'd end up probably wanting to buy something. And let's go, says Reflecting Trees. Going to go fit quick, be back for the New Zealand game. That's not exactly a quick one, Elijah. That's like an hour and a half at least. So be sure to, as you said, use lube, or else you'll very much hurt yourself. Nigel Awong, though, great grounding of the ball. The Samoan flags from Paulie there, and Chahu from Lesser, which of course sounds better when someone puts their back into it, unlike what I did just then. You changing in rankings after this result, mate? I don't believe so. We'll have a little bit more of an update on the world rankings on the next live stream, but we will see whether or not World Rugby Rankings calculator. I'll see whether or not I can give you a bit of an update. So Samoa at the moment, they were sitting 13th. In fact, they might go up. Samoa, they win this game 29 points. 29 points to 23. They apparently don't move. That can't be correct, can it? I think it is. Because Samoa are ranked 13th and Spain are 19th, Samoa can't actually gain anything on the world rankings. Yet if they lost this game, they would lose 2. So, yeah, there's a lot more on the line for Samoa in terms of those world rankings than the Spanish in this contest, you could say. Is Ben playing? He is not, no. Not for this game. Ben O'Keefe, of course, the referee. And also we have got there when the Wallabies play. They are going to be playing at 9:45 tonight, so in about 5 hours' time. Oh, well, my comment from an hour ago finally showed up. That's lucky, isn't it? It's strange that it didn't send for the full hour till we knew the score. And the party stars now. And Hamish, they scored a try I was watching on the Spanish channel. And I'm back on 1 minute, says Lave, and that looks like we're going to have one last penalty going the way of the Spanish. Can we get a Chahu if Samoa win, please? And when is the next game, says Matthew? Next game is going to be kicking off at 7:05 New Zealand time, but we are starting at 6:15, I believe it is, New Zealand time, as we've got plenty of stats to go through and lineups and everything along those lines before the match does get underway. So the next live stream that we are starting is in an hour and a half's time. Now going to the front there for the Spanish. You're going to look for that rolling ball, although a player has dropped down to a knee. Want one more try here, Spain, and they were close just there. New Zealand, says Xander, if Samoa won, says Leif, they are very close to it. Like, they, at this point, cannot lose this game, but Spain can get within 7. Love the commentary, thanks, good for something. Hamish, my man, says Dan, is there any chance I could partner with you on a language course and for you to advertise it? It's for my new Arabic course. I can give your viewers 15% off. Partner with you on a language course. Arabic course. I don't know if anyone speaks Arabic. Well, then maybe they need the course. But, not sure. We probably have to talk about it more so in actual emails rather than just a chat. Dang, how long is this game? Yeah, it's going on a little while, but Spain, I should mention, did just get over to score themselves the final try of this contest. I watched Team America. I'm fluent in Arabic after that, says Sandor, and Malo Manu, says Joe. Antolofa from Hawaii, says the Samoa Mustang. Welcome in again, mate. It is great to see you. It's great to see 2 wins from 2 for the Samoans. In this one, Matthew Lang is the king of all trolls. I knew you wanted me to read that out, so that's why I decided I'd read through it fully. That is going to be 34 points to 30 now, ladies and gentlemen. Is that the end of the game? I assume, yes, it is the end of the game. I was confused for a second. It seemed like all the players were standing around as if they were ready to go. Hang on, Ben O'Keefe. I think Ben O'Keefe's just asking the question to one of the Spanish players asking the question of whether the game was actually over. But yeah, nonetheless, 34 points to 30. Samoa getting themselves another win, 2 in a row now. They will head into the Pacific Nations Cup with a bit of momentum when they go head-to-head with Fiji, Tonga, as well as Japan. Ben O'Keefe says, Paul Lee, I have to go see you tomorrow. I might be joining the stream in the second half, and Dan, thanks for supporting Spain. They did a good job. And me too, it's the hairy nipples for me, says Sandor, and thanks Amish, says Peter Wild. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. Like I mentioned, an hour and a half's time, we will be live on the channel covering the next contest. Game was over 4 minutes ago, says Garcia. Yeah, although we don't normally leave straight away. And great call, Hamish, see you in an hour, says the Dr. Pooh. And there, great commentary, Hamish, ooze up the intensity. And hello, Mr. Smith, bring the lube, says Samuel. And there's all well done, boys. Thanks for the live and good luck to the All Blacks and see you soon. Says Vicisio. So yeah, we will see a little bit later on, of course. Right, we will go like this, and we will go like that as well. Just don't mess with me, says Matthew Lang. Post-match analysis, says Sandal. We will have a post-match review that is coming out on the channel maybe in about 30 minutes' time. So be sure to keep an eye out for that. But nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in. I will see you all for the All Blacks versus England, which is only an hour and a half away from kicking off. But thank you all very much for tuning in. I will see you all for the next one.